Did you know that you can bring your emotions under control? And if not, it is so. Now it's time that you take control over your emotions and you bring them under submission. In this video, I'll give you 4 ways of how to control your emotions. Now, when you are offended or are in offense, a lot of times you may not know, but your emotions will show up. You may feel like you want to cry, scream, yell, and sometimes you do know that you're in offense, but for times when you don't know you're in offense, again, your emotions will show up. So first, you want to be mindful of your emotion. You want to take those emotions to God and ask Him to identify them. What are they attached to? Why are you experiencing them? Right? Proverbs 20:5 highlights that true self-awareness requires actively seeking to understand your inner motives and thoughts. While 2 Corinthians tells us in 13 and 15 for us to examine ourselves to see whether we are in faith. Second, the Holy Spirit has gifted us with self-control. Therefore, activate it. Okay? What does that mean? By not immediately reacting to what you are offended of or by. Right? For we are to follow Christ's example. He said in 1 Peter 2:23, perfect example. It says, when Christ was criticized in an abusive manner or was insulted in an angry manner, He did not criticize or insult in an angry manner in return. But when he suffered, he did not threaten, but he continually trusted himself to Him who judges justly. Right? So he gave it over to God. Again, taking it to God, letting Him first tell us why we are in offense. Third, we then will have to cast down the negative thoughts that we're having about the offense, because what will happen is our thoughts will continue to be on replay of what was done or what was said or how they did it or what they didn't do. So our thoughts will continue to replay the offense. We have to then take captive of those thoughts and rely on the Holy Spirit for guidance and strength. What are we to do? And how are we to do it? Now that we are in offense, or now that we know, why we are having or experiencing this emotion. As in 2 Corinthians 10:5, it states this, that we are told to take captive every negative thought and to make it obedient to Christ. Also, that means like for us to decide to think other thoughts, like the word, for instance, or maybe a song that ministers to our heart, right? We have to take the thought away. We have to get rid of the thought, because as long as we continue to let it play, we will continue to remain in offense, and we will continue to have that emotion attached to that thought. Okay. And then fourth, we are to practice and decide to forgive, right? Matthew 6:14-15 teaches us what? To forgive, that God may forgive us. So recently, I would say I was offended, but I didn't know that I was in offense. I just know that I was angry to the point where I wanted to cry. And that normally does not happen to me. I don't normally get upset easily anymore, thank God. But that emotion was so heightened that it was like I had to pay attention to it. So I'm like, what is this? Why am I so angry, and why do I want to cry? And so the Holy Spirit then said, the thing that you don't want to do it. And I was so mad because then I'm like, oh, this is about that thing that I don't want to do, that I'm being made to do anyway because the person didn't do it themselves. Okay. So I had to take a minute because I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And as long as I was like, I don't want to do it, and I continued to let those thoughts about the offense play over and over in my mind, I continued to be angry about it and wanted to cry about it. And then it wasn't until he was like, just do it. Just do it. And it wasn't until I began to do it that I then began to realize that peace was replacing that anger that I was having. And I will admit that I did it with the tears in the back of my eyes. I went to moving, making the steps towards doing it with those tears in the background of my eyes, trying to hold them up and keep it from falling. But I did it. And again, I realized that peace was beginning to replace the anger that I was feeling, and the tears were beginning to dry up. So now, as I completed the assignment, I was no longer angry. I had no longer a desire to cry, and I was actually in total peace by the end of completing the thing that I didn't want to do, that I did anyway, instead of remaining in offense. So if you like this video, or if you know someone that needs to hear this video, I ask that you would share. And if you have any questions, I ask that you will leave a comment. And until next time, bye for now.